Hello, Adam Laurie here, addiction specialist, and today what we're going to be doing is just talking generally about addiction and what we can do as individuals to help increase chances of success whilst in recovery, because it is a long journey, it is a difficult journey to take, and we just need all the help we can get. And as I often say, support is so important. So it's estimated that around 107 million people globally were suffering from alcohol addiction specifically. Um, about around 3 million deaths per year due to alcohol addiction. Now those numbers are quite staggering really, because, when you think about it, this isn't, it's not necessary. We shouldn't be having this amount of people losing control over something that that is so normal in society these days. If you think about how accepted alcohol is in society, it's accepted from a very, very young age, and children growing up generally see it as normal. They see their parents drinking, they see their older relatives drinking, they see their older friends drinking. And it's thought like, maybe it's an adult thing to do, much like smoking and drug use and that sort of thing. It's considered by young children as something that sort of adults do, and if they did it, that they would feel more adult, they would feel more grown up, and often maybe accepted in society, whereas someone may feel in their younger years like they're not accepted, they don't fit in. Maybe this would be a way in to feel that acceptance from society and the people around them. The people that promote alcohol, to advertising alcohol, they're very, very clever. They have studied the human behavioral patterns, the human mind, in a very detailed way. They know what will cause us to go towards that behavior. They know what to say to make it sound so appealing. And more women these days are becoming alcohol dependent. It all started, it used to be just a man's thing. It used to be a man come home from work, go to the pub or to the bar and drink all night with their friends, and then come home drunk. That was kind of seen as normal. And now women are kind of being targeted by these big alcohol corporations, and it all started with Alco Pops, these sweet fizzy alcoholic drinks that were mainly targeted towards women. So it was a way to get them to start drinking. It was a way to get young women, particularly from high school and that kind of age, partying, have an alcoholic sweet drink, almost like cola or any kind of soft drink, but there was alcohol in it, and it was that kind of trigger, that kind of set that path to associating alcohol with good times and good taste, and it made them feel good for that time, and that kind of set the pathway to relying on alcohol as a representation of great times, and making things seem just better, because when people are under the influence of alcohol, it's almost like they have no worries or their troubles going away. But when they come back round, they feel terrible. They feel, they realize that those troubles haven't actually gone anywhere. They've actually just stayed exactly where they are. And actually they feel worse as a result. And a lot of depression is due to alcohol use, because alcohol is actually a depressant. It triggers something in the brain that causes depression, that causes a low mood. And when you think about also, alcohol is a toxic, it's a toxin, it's actually a poison to the body. And what creates that feeling, that buzzed feeling that you get, that giddy feeling, is that toxin affecting the nervous system, going into the bloodstream, affecting the brain, which is why long-term use of alcohol causes long-term brain damage. And the longer, obviously, you use something, the harder it is to get away from that. So it's one of those things that is so normalized in our society, and it's trying to get away from that kind of, it's difficult because it's advertised everywhere. I live in the Czech Republic, and Czech people are some of the biggest beer drinkers in Europe. And everywhere you go, there's billboards and signs on the side of buses and vehicles advertising alcohol. So it's just everywhere, and youngsters see it from a very young age, and it's very, very normalized. And the health warnings are kind of hidden in the background. So, we don't even look at that. We just see these big, colourful advertisements advertising the alcohol, associating it with good times and, stress-free, but actually it causes all the opposite in the long run. So it's one of those things we need to try to move away from in society, or at least put an education out there so that people understand the risks in partaking in alcohol use. So it's a very very difficult thing to get away from. Now, when you're looking at recovery, mindfulness is so important, because we spent so much time when using alcohol. It's very easy to be mindless, which is why we often do silly things, and we wake up the next morning and can't remember what we did, and what we do remember, we're dreading. We're thinking, oh my God, how could I have done that? Or I'm so embarrassed of my behavior. It lowers our inhibitions and gives us a false sense of confidence. So when going through recovery, it's very important to be mindful about how you're feeling, because those cravings, as I often say, that voice in your head is going to be absolutely relentless. It's like a small child that is constantly going on and on and on at you to go back to that which made you feel good, that made you feel worry-free. And it's only when you can control that little voice in your head, be mindful, and actually decide that you are going to be in charge here, not that little voice in your head, not that inner child moaning and moaning and moaning about getting you to do what they want to do. You've got to almost like become your own parent, and that little voice in your head is your inner child trying to persuade you to do things that is not good for you, and is what you're trying to get away from. So mindfulness, whilst going through recovery, is so important, and being aware of what you're feeling, how you're feeling, because feelings are just passing. Emotions, they are just passing. They're no really different from a passing storm. Whether that's a good emotion or a bad emotion, they all come and they all go. So being mindful of that, it's almost taking yourself into a meditative state, as when you're thinking, this is how I'm feeling. I understand that this feeling will pass, because emotions and things like that, emotions and energy is not fact. You're going to feel different in an hour, you're going to feel different in a day, in a week, in a month. So how you feel right now is not exactly how you're going to feel forever. You've got to understand that it will pass, much like a passing storm. It's got to have an understanding of, this is going to pass, and I understand that, and I accept that. A lot of people, when they experience emotions, it's like they're thinking and they're saying to themselves, this is how I feel, this is what I feel, these are my emotions and my feelings. And that is like taking ownership of those emotions, those feelings. Whereas we should not own them, we should not hold on to them. If you think of emotions, negative emotions particularly, negative emotions are like hot coals that you're holding on to. All you're doing is burning yourself. The longer you hold on, the more damage you are doing. So to have the mindset of allow it to pass, allow it to go, because if you hold on to it, it's too hot. You're going to burn yourself. You're going to do more damage. That acceptance, that acceptance of, I accept these emotions are here right now. And I accept that, but I allow them to go. They're not part of me. They're just visiting. These are just visiting energies from experiences that I've had. So allowing those experiences to come and they go. We all experience positivity, we all experience negativity, and those bad emotions, negative feelings are only that. They're just visiting energies that will come and then they will go. As long as you allow them to go and accept that they will go, do not invite them to stay. You have to have that mindset of, this is going to pass. This is just a passing storm. It doesn't feel good, but I know that it's going to pass and I can look forward to that freedom when it does eventually pass. So mindfulness is so important when it comes to recovery. That understanding of where these emotions are coming from. They're probably not coming from a good place. They're probably coming from memories, some past trauma, some past experiences that we've had due to our addictions that we don't like. We don't like to remember them, but often we can't help what we remember. So allow them just to go, allow them just to pass, just to come and go, and don't hold on to them. Don't accept that they are yours. The past is in the past. It doesn't actually exist. We cannot change the past. So we've got to accept that the past is that. It is the past. It doesn't exist. It's only something you're bringing up in your mind again and again. But we must allow it to go. We must accept this is what happened. There's nothing we can do about that. We're not going back. So why even look that way? We've got to look forward to where we're going, to where we're heading. I mean, it's the only reason we should be looking back is to see how far we've come. So that mindfulness, constant mindfulness, be aware of how you're feeling. Be aware of what it is you're going through right now. Be aware and accept that what you're going through is only a passing storm. It cannot last forever. So understand that and accept that. Allow it to go. And then anything else, anything positive can then come to replace it. So you're allowing that negativity to shift and to be released out to where it came from. And that makes room then for the positivity to come in and replace that negativity. So your new life, your new experiences will then drive you to seek that which is more positive and it works for you. So what do you think? If you enjoyed that, or if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, that's fine also. If you want to comment on this video, that's absolutely fine. If you want to message me, ask me any questions, I'm happy to answer. If you want to like and subscribe, that will also be very, very helpful to me and very much appreciated. So until next time, guys, you have a great day and take care. See you later.